Hello, NWOBHM-era.com here. Today is the 6th of March 2022. As usual, before we get into it, if I could ask you to please subscribe to the channel, that'd be marvellous. Every subscriber helps and is appreciated, so please do that. Okie dokie, today we're looking at a band called Griffe from the good old days when the new wave of British heavy metal was everywhere back in the early 1980s. And Griffe were one of the many bands from back then trying to make their mark, but unfortunately not being able to do so, despite being able to write some good stuff. Griffe were from Stoke. They had 2 EPs issued by a small independent label in the early 80s. Before that was it, and they disappeared. And despite having the talent, they didn't get the breaks to match. But now, those good people at No Remorse Records have got those 2 EPs on this CD, cunningly titled The EPs. Get it right? And there's a bonus track in there as well that wasn't on either of the EPs back in the 80s. The first of the EPs is called Fast Bikes. That's from 1983, and the follow-up, Breaking Strain, appeared the following year. Now, Fast Bikes has 3 songs on it. The first one being Fast Bikes, and this is a typical sort of like classic new wave of British heavy metal style song, I guess. It bumps along at some pace. It's punchy. It's got a big riff, a heck of a catchy chorus, and you can imagine this one being adopted as a bit of a biker anthem, particularly with lyrics like this. Right? Are you ready? Give me a fast bike, a long dry road. Who needs a woman? You're better on your own. Right. Anyway, it really is a good punchy, like NWOBHM style song. The second song on Fast Bikes, Where Are You, reminds me a lot of UFO's Doctor Doctor. It's quite similar, big chunky rhythm guitar underpinning it all. And the third song, The Actor. Now this is an early indication of how Griffe could write more expansive stuff, I guess you could say. It's a bit of a moody, brooding slow burner, nice bass groove, nicely up in the mix, big solo, and it really does show that Griffe had a lot of promise to him. On to Breaking Strain, and it is a bit of a step up. The title track, there's a lot of variety going on across the 5 songs on Breaking Strain. The title track, big, nice, fast-paced, sort of catchy power pop sort of style. Breathe deeply, big production, brooding, cutting, chunky riff, changes the pace, excellent solos. It speeds up, it slows down, big memorable chorus, excellent varied song. Silent Running, now this is probably their standout track. Quite a dramatic number. It gallops along, it pulses, it's got a really strong, driven, cutting riff, scorching solos. It really is a bit of a monster song. And the final 2 songs on Breaking Strain, and to some extent the bonus track, a trio of quite good melodic rockers, which remind me again in style of sort of period UFO. If you think sort of what UFO were doing on Mechanics or perhaps Misdemeanor, you might not be too far away there. Now, Griffe certainly had enough about them, surely to have had a productive career if the record companies had come calling, and which, despite these 2 EPs being well received enough at the time, it wasn't enough, and it wouldn't result in big labels schlepping to Stoke with a contract and a pen and saying, please sign here. Whilst that's a shame, now 40 years later or so, we've got No Remorse Records who've got their hands on this and stuck it out on this excellent CD, and just shows again what talent there was around in the NWOBHM days of the early 80s, and how a band like Griffe had the talent but not the breaks. If you'd like to get your hands on a copy of this, it's recommended stuff. I'll put a link in the description below to the No Remorse website, so you can go there and pick it up. There's a vinyl version also, so do that. Why not? Please subscribe before you go to the channel. That would be excellent. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.